Reg in Mildenhall says win today and the champagne will be in the fridge. Draw today and the champagne will be near the fridge. It's Ipswich Town's penultimate away day of the regular championship season. Kieran McKenna's men are away at West Brom. Let's join our commentary team at the Hawthorns. Once again, former Town captain Mick Mills is alongside Brenna Woolley.
So will these be 3 of the 4 points Town need to secure their immediate return to the Premier League? Yet because of their vastly superior goal difference compared to Millwall, that's now needed after Wednesday's victory at Charlton and last night's draw between the Lions and Leicester. A win this afternoon pretty much guarantees the Blues finish above Middlesbrough, while Southampton's chances of ending up in the top 2 would be left hanging by a thread. We're certainly in the final 50 metres of the sprint to the line, and Kieran McKenna's men are in a terrific position. Although I have to say today's opponents aren't ideal opposition, even though they've been battling relegation for a while. West Brom are one of the form sides of the division, unbeaten in 9, and will want to round off their home season with an eye-catching success over one of the big boys. With a very winnable fixture at Sheffield Wednesday for them on the final day, caretaker boss James Morrison will be keen to close the campaign on an 11-match unbeaten run, and after yesterday's points deduction, still aren't 100% safe. And Mick, as I said there, we all know what the rewards are, but this is quite a tricky one this afternoon, isn't it, for Ipswich Town?
Yes, I think so. I think that it's when you're at the stadium that you think about it even more. You know, if you tend to think, would the West Bromwich players switch off? Well, they do theoretically need to get a point. But if you're a player and you walk out here in this fabulous stadium with all these people that have turned out to watch you, if you decide to switch off, then I think you're in for a hard day from your own supporters. I really don't think they will do that. I think they will be motivated by their fans, and I think that West Bromwich will give it whatever they've got. They're in absolutely superb form. So this is a really, really hard game. It's always been a difficult venue to come to. Invariably, you always meet a reasonably good West Bromwich team. We had a great result down at the Valley. That will have done us the power of good. I just see this as a very, very close encounter. I really do. I tend to feel that we will get ourselves the draw that we might need at the end of the day. It'll be a tough one, but it's a super place to come and play at. And I did look at the players, our players, when they finished the warm-up. They went to see the fans that have come over from Suffolk, and the togetherness between them was absolutely outstanding. They're having another one now. They're getting to applaud the fans, almost to say, we're ready, are you? And the response was, yes, we are. 2 changes from the side, that one at Charlton just on Wednesday night, so a quick turnaround. Johnson and Philogene drop to the bench. Kipre and Clark come into this side. The other news really from the squad is that Burns replaces Eggley on the bench. So Walton in goal. 3 of the back 4 have played here in the past. Furlong, O'Shea and Kipre, all former Baggies players. Greaves slides across to left back in the absence of Davis. Must be a huge question mark over us seeing Davis again this season because of his hamstring. Matusiwa plays alongside Taylor in midfield, and the attacking 3 from right to left. McAteer, Mehmeti in the 10, and Clark. Up front, Athon looking for his 6th goal of the season. On the bench alongside Burns, Palmer, another former West Brom player, Neil, Hurst, Philogene, Kayuste, Johnson, Akpom and Nunez. Still a very, very strong bench. One change to the West Brom side that beat Watford 3-0 on Tuesday. That was their 6th clean sheet in 7. That's an outstanding defensive record they've got. And it's up top. No surprise they haven't changed the back 5. Hegerber comes in for Madger in their front line. They play a 4-4-2. How retro is that? O'Leary is their goalkeeper. The back 4's Imre, Campbell, Phillips and Styles. The midfield, Malumbi, Mowat the captain, Diakite and Price. And up front, Hegerber is partnered by DK. On the bench, Griffiths, Gilchrist, Taylor, Jimo Aloba, Bostock, Banny, Grant, Madger and Sula. Now, what do you make of Kipre into the back line and Greaves moving across to left back, Nick? Yeah, I'm okay with that. I think that Kipre has been unlucky to be left out since his suspension, so we know what he can do. He's a reliable defender. We know what Jacob Greaves can do down that left-hand side, and I just think, no, I'm okay. The back 4 looks very strong to me. happy with that. Glad Jack Taylor has retained his place next to Matasiwa. That looks strong as well. Now, I said it on Tuesday, I'll say it again now. Can we get a top-class performance from the front four? If we do, we could be in business.
Well, if Ipswich Town play away from home again on a Saturday this season, it would be at Wembley on the 23rd of May. We do not want that to be the case. We want this to be their final Saturday game on their travels of the season. We're ready to go at the Hawthorns. What an occasion in glorious spring sunshine. Town in all red up against the navy blue and white striped shirts of West Brom. White shorts and blue socks. The home side have got on. Town playing from right to left in front of their away supporters. Up and early on the coaches, travelling from east to west for this 12:30 kick-off. Immediately Town get forward wide left in the right back area outside the West Brom box. Taylor goes to ground. The referee says play on. That's Matt Donoghue. Has awarded 3 penalties in Town games so far this season. 2 against them, it has to be said, as O'Shea just drops his shoulder, glides away from the Dane Haggerber, gives it to Matasiwa, and then O'Shea passes it out. Didn't really want the return from Matasiwa, who said, well, where else was I meant to go? So throwing the West Brom underneath us midway inside the Ipswich Town half. A few thousand have made the trip supporting Ipswich Town. They've got half of the big one-tier standoff to our right behind Christian Walton. They're getting a bird's eye view of any action inside his penalty area in this first half. Here is Danny Imre on loan from Crystal Palace. Played for Blackpool against Ipswich Town in the FA Cup earlier this season. He gives it to the marauding player wide right. It's Malumbi, the Irishman. In comes his cross. It's a good ball. It's headed over the bar by Phillips, the former Liverpool player. Bright start from West Brom.
Yeah, well, they put 6 players in our penalty area and we focused our attention on that. We forgot to have a 2v2 out on the touchline. We just had 2v1, the throw-in taker and another player, and they decided to work it down this right touchline, and they did it really well. The cross was a good one. First half chance to West Brom.
Walton, Town's number 1 for the most of the season now. He's had a very good season as well, as the American Campbell heads the ball back to his goalkeeper O'Leary, former teammate of Anis Mehmeti's at Bristol City. O'Leary cost best part of £2.5 million when he arrived here in January, as he bowls the ball out to Campbell. Campbell up to halfway. O'Shea wins the battle against Haggerben. It will be a good battle. Kipper is quickly in on DK. West Brom out to this right hand side. They've started brightly. It's Imre who does like to get forward from full back. Got his first goal for the club in the week in that win at Watford. Back to Malumbi, infield to Diakite, who's been a regular this season. Back to Imre on the right hand side, taking on Greaves. In comes his fizzing cross, headed away by Kipre. Imre's looked very lively, attacking Ipswich Town earlier on from right back.
Yeah, there was a lot of good things about that. The attacking down the right hand side, good again. Terrific cross.
Ipswich clear up towards Athon. Athon controls and gives it back to Taylor. Taylor switches it to the left hand side and Greaves. Nice play from Town. Greaves down the line towards Clark. Wouldn't have enough on it. Imre gets back. He's been involved a lot early doors. And he gives it back to O'Leary. Imre was on loan at Blackpool when they came to Portman Road in the FA Cup. That was actually his last game for Blackpool before he went back to Selhurst Park and was upgraded to this championship move for the rest of the season, and he's done well playing right back for West Brom by the sounds of things. Kipre to Matasiwa. Furlong, Kipre, Palmer and Townsend, all Ipswich Town players, now all played the last time we were here for West Brom, and in fact Furlong actually got the opening goal on that occasion when Town had a rare defeat that season. 2-1 it was here last time to the Baggies. Mehmeti to Furlong. Now O'Shea, 1 or 2 boos for the ex-West Brom players. Furlong up towards Athon. Athon's flick on allows Phillips a bit of time on the edge of the West Brom penalty area. 4 minutes gone, but they've flown by in the West Midlands sunshine. Still 0-0 if you're joining us a bit late. Town just have 2 more games to go after this. Southampton on Tuesday night away, QPR at home next week. Mowatt's pass forward was handled in the eyes of the referee by Matasiwa, or armed more accurately. Either way, the referee's blown up. Free kick to West Brom at the back.
Yeah, this is an unusual playing 4-4-2. It was a very, very popular system a few years ago, and for a long time this is a rarity nowadays, but it'd be interesting to see how it goes.
Mowat with a diagonal. Furlong deals with it in the air, far side, nodded down by Price, who's a talented player, the ex-Everton man. Matthew Seawer finds Walton in the shade off to our right. He dinks the ball up towards Greaves. Greaves tries to flick on to Clark, but it's out of play. Both managers visible now. James Morrison has got out of his seat. Kieran McKenna has been on the edge of his technical area at the Hawthorns since the outset. Really good ground there. It's always a good atmosphere at the Hawthorns. Always been a favourite to visit, albeit Town haven't had much luck here at all without a win in 7, in fact. 27 years since Ipswich Town won on this ground. Now would be a good time to get their first victory here of this century. Matthew Seawer to his right hand side. Furlong trying to get it in round the back for Mehmeti rather than McAteer far side. Styles, the Hungarian international, plays it to his captain Mowat. Mowat very experienced at this level, former Leeds player. Now Campbell slides a pass up to halfway. Hegerberg holding off Furlong, gives it in field to Mowat. Mowat's ended up tumbling on top of the ball.
Yeah, that was a slight advantage you get with the 4-4-2, where you don't have to go through the midfield. You can play that scene up front. When you've got 2 targets, it's very, very easy to hit.
Well, West Brom are looking up for this game, certainly. Headed forward by O'Shea, controlled by Price. Price tries to knock it forward to Hegerberg. Greaves has to rise and does so against Malumbi. Now Kiprit, ball just goes beyond him, but no damage done. He eventually turns it square to O'Shea, we're goalless. Taylor with a touch to Kiprit. Pleased to see Taylor keeping his place in midfield. Greaves, who's left back this afternoon, marauding down the left-hand side, holding off Malumbi. Greaves still has the ball, gives it back towards Clark. Diakite's all over him. Clark turns it infield to Taylor. Taylor on halfway finds Kiprit. The Reds of Ipswich Town picking out teammates and a half off to my left-hand side. Clark on a dribbles, go away from Malumbi, wants to take on Imre. Great play from Clark. Clark square looking for Taylor in the area, just cut out. Passed up towards the halfway line, and Hegerberg. O'Shea nudges him to the ground. Hegerberg gets up, appeals for a foul by the referee. Nothing doing. This is Mr. Donoghue. Live on BBC Radio Suffolk Sport. Town needing 4 points from these final 9 available to be promoted back to the Premier League. See what Wednesday's win at Charlton met with Kieran McKenna. The outpouring of emotion at full time was clear for all to see down below us. Greaves takes the ball from O'Shea's chest. In comes his low cross across the face of goal. McAteer will get onto it on the far post. Not quite. It's actually played off McAteer by Styles. And fortunately for West Brom, it went straight back to the man in all light blue, O'Leary, the goalkeeper.
Yeah, but good play by Jacob Greaves. We always look at him as if he's just going to fill a hole at left back, but he doesn't. He gets forward as well, and he did well on that occasion. His cross was a good one.
Matthew Seawer brings the ball down but slips, was able to adjust quickly enough. Taylor again floats the ball to the right hand side. Taylor effortlessly picking out colleagues with some of his first time passing in his first 8 minutes. McAteer, he's just certainly deserved this little run in the side. He's made the most of his opportunity in the absence of Burns, and Egley not being quite on it just yet. Taylor to Kipre. Jack Clark, early ball forward to Greaves, who'd overlapped well. Greaves into the middle, that's a good ball, has to be dealt with by the centre-halves, and was. Up and away from Phillips, headed on by DK, up against Kipre. A good heavyweight clash between those two. Diakite goes into Taylor. Mowat's over the top trying to release Price. Couldn't get the angle on the ball that he wanted. And it's O'Shea's and Walton's to do with as they please.
Well, we've had Imre getting forward for West Bromwich early in the game, and now look at Jacob Greaves' position. He wants a head start. You know, he's not going to come sort of from a late, deep position. He's quite happy to sort of start high up the pitch. He's done well so far. 2 crosses from him.
I get the impression he loves playing left back. Really seems to enjoy it. He has been excellent at centre half. That's one of the areas where I think Town have been very strong of late, O'Shea and Greaves. O'Shea goes long, probably too long on this well-watered surface for Athon, all the way through to O'Leary, who's a very good quality championship goalkeeper. They've actually got another good one on the bench in Josh Griffiths. Those have had strength and depth in goal, West Brom. forward from O'Leary up towards DK. Don't mind mixing it by going a bit more direct. Hegerber heads it on, but O'Shea gets enough on the ball. Greaves turns it away to halfway. Imre controls it, wants to then beat Clark, who's holding him back, has a nibble at him. Imre's beaten him. Excellent tenacious play from the number 30. Poor ball in. Kipre clears not very far. Price with an effort into the ground. It goes wide for a goal kick.
He looks useful down the right-hand side, Imre. He's clever. He looks an energetic player. He looks as if he can defend okay, but he's very, very good in attack. He has a lot of ability and he's quick, running with the ball as well. So he's going to be a threat.
He's 22 years of age, the Crystal Palace player. There is Furlong. Good to see him get his first goal for the club in the week. What a goal it was. Athon to Mehmeti. Mehmeti tries to release McAteer, but played the ball straight to Styles. Styles to Diakite. Just kept in on the far touchline by Mowat, the captain. Styles forced to run back towards his own area. Athon cuts out the route to his goalkeeper. Styles wants to turn away from Mehmeti and clear. He's done it poorly. And as far as McAteer has his pocket picked by Price. Price's clearance reaches Furlong. 0-0, 10 on the clock. Furlong on the right-hand side for Ipswich Town. Low ball to the edge of the area and Mehmeti tiptoes around Styles. McAteer on the right tries a pull-back cross in the way at Mowat. Mowat up towards DK. Kipper's quickly in on him. So far, so good in terms of O'Shea and Kipre dealing with two big, strong forwards, this pair.
Yeah, that's twice we've been very, very aggressive when those balls have come up to the strikers. The referee's been lenient. But I think he might be looking at that a little bit later on. That's a little bit too aggressive.
O'Shea to Clark in a central midfield position for once. Clark, he gives it to Greaves, who was occupying this left touchline. Ipswich work the ball to Furlong. Furlong up to Mehmeti. Furlong on the edge of the centre circle. The width being offered far siders by McAteer on the Ipswich right. McAteer now receives the ball from Furlong. It's goalless as he goes up against a combination of Price and Styles. Town work it to the left. Kipre, lovely first-hand ball forward. That was really good and incisive. Poor pass from Clark, away from Greaves, out for a West Brom throw. Goal news from Graham.
Morgan Whittaker again for Middlesbrough. They lead Watford 1-0.
He's come back at just the right time for them. So they move up to 79 points in the live table. Town, of course, currently on 80 in the live table, with this one being 0-0. Yeah, the hope for Borough was that Lexa Whittaker and Hackney would be back for the playoffs. Hegerber gets the better of Matussi, where he's got a player inside the area. He gives it to Price. Price shoots, it's deflected straight at Walton. West Brom arguably should have done a lot better there. That was a real chance.
Yeah, there's some good sort of one-to-one battles. The two strikers, DK and Hegerber, they're looking really... Actually, the first thing that catches your eye is they are aggressive and they are really disturbing our two centre-backs.
Matasiwa, first time, turns it around the corner to Mehmeti. McAteer on the far side. It's a good game between these two teams. See why West Brom have been getting results based on this 12-minute snapshot of them currently. O'Shea completely missed his kick forward, didn't do too much damage. He's given it to Furlong. The home crowd enjoyed that mistake from O'Shea. Just trying the first time switch really, and just mistimed it, and the ball got jammed between the heel of his right boot and the toes of his left.
Yeah, I think he'll have to be 3 off the tee there.
Here is Mehmeti, can't quite get there of Mowat. Diakite is a massive player in the centre, steps in there and gives it to Imre. Imre's certainly got a nice way about him. As Phillips plays it out to the far side. Campbell steps away from the challenge of McAteer, then is caught out, he's out of position, he's lost the ball. Mehmeti up towards Athon. Athon's first touch helps out the West Brom defender. He gets it back to goalkeeper O'Leary and he clouts it out far side, where goalless.
Yeah, this is a good match really. You know, you could sort of be saying good things about West Bromwich, you can say good things about Town. You know, it's just a very, very lively encounter. It looks higher standard than Championship of normal, you know, really. It's a good quality game.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, I agree, enjoying this. In the 14th minute, Town have a throw in. Darnell Furlong's tight to the advertising board's far side. And he comes and hurls it long into the West Brom box off to our left. Strong header away from DK, the striker. Kept in by Furlong. No, not quite. It's out on the far side.
Yeah, when you look at the tactics, the straight away, you know, they're 4-4-2. They're short of one midfield player in there. Everywhere it's man for man, except in the centre of midfield, where West Bromwich have got 2, we've got 3. The spare man is Mehmeti, and it's really, you know, we've got to search for him as much as possible. What West Brom, if they've got time, Mowat is trying to pick him up, and I've seen him calling Price in off the left touchline to cater for the position that he's vacating. So they're trying to deal with it, but at the moment they're not quite got it right.
One of only 5 teams to beat Ipswich Town in the promotion season a couple of years ago. West Brom, as Greaves has to deal with a diagonal, which he gets there ahead of Imre and gets the ball back to Walton. Quick Greaves, good player. Was in the championship team of the season 2 years ago. Jacob Greaves, no Town player making this year's selection last weekend. Kipre, some boos from West Brom players, giving the ball away very poorly did Kipre. Clark in central midfield up against Mowat, and steps Diakite. Diakite is starting to get to grips with the game. Imre, who's been in top gear since the very start. Now Malumbi, an international colleague of Jack Taylor and Casey McAteer. Terrible pass from Campbell. Furlong got onto it but couldn't do anything with it, much to his frustration, and he's had to play for a throw, which Price is going to be taken potentially, or Styles maybe, for West Brom. We're still waiting for the first goal in the 16th minute of Ipswich Town's 44th game of the season. They've won 22 of the previous 43. Just the 8 defeats this season for Town as West Brom give the ball away in central field. Clark plays it up to Athon. Athon's touch takes it away from him. McAteer made a good run down the left channel next to the Spaniard, but he never fully got it under control, Athon, and that prevented him from feeding the ball to McAteer. McAteer's former club Leicester drawing 1-1 with Millwall last night. They led until the 91st minute, Leicester. How good would that have been if they'd managed to hold on, but possibly a big goal up for Millwall. Styles up to Hegerber. Hegerber on the halfway line, plays it to Diakite. Hegerber with 10 goals, West Brom's leading goal scorer this season, albeit he didn't start in the week. Here is Diakite, the Malian midfielder. Austria and Switzerland in the past. He's adapted well to English football this season though. Wasted pass from Campbell, out far side from Ipswich Town throw as Mark Hudson, the set piece coach, comes out next to Kieran McKenna and shouts out at Jack Clark, I think in particular.
Yeah, Jack Clark sometimes is drifting so far in that Greaves has to come towards Imre, the West Bromwich right back, and it leaves a little bit of room on the left hand side of Kipre. So I think he probably will want Clark just to hold a little bit more width on this side.
Furlong with this throw in just the Ipswich Town side of halfway. Can Ipswich Town set up grand finale at Portman Road next Saturday against QPR? Perhaps they'll win both these games, West Brom and Southampton, and that's a dead rubber next week. But the likelihood is that they're going to head into that game, fingers crossed, a bit like Exeter and Huddersfield in recent seasons, with a win securing promotion, as long as they get at least a point from one of these 2 games on the road. Cleared away by Styles to halfway. That's by no means a foregone conclusion. 2 tough opponents Town are up against. DK runs into the challenge of Matusiwa. Out goes the ball for a throw to West Brom.
Yeah, you can sense that both teams are really trying to get a hand on this game. You know, it's very, very close. Neither team has really sort of made any inroads as far as chances are concerned. West Brom have put in a couple of good crosses. Ipswich have put in a couple of good crosses, and that's about it at the moment. So they're just sort of sparring at the moment.
Yep, neither goalkeeper has had a save of note to make, really. Campbell along the deck, finding Styles. It's been a bit of his football, fair bit of his football, really. Styles in midfield, former Barnsley and Sunderland player, but they have some left backs on the bench. West Brom, that's a real area of strength. Imre up to Hegerber, now Price outside the Ipswich area. Back come the red shirts of Ipswich off to our right. Price turns the ball back to Diakite. The crowd want him to shoot, he obliges. He hits it up straight at Walton. He patted it slightly before he fully got it under control, but it wasn't going to beat him from there. Diakite's gone down, actually injured after hitting that effort on target.
Yeah, he's hurt himself, but that tells you, the advantage of having two strikers. I think the ball up to the striker was a little bit off target. It went to the inside of him, but it just naturally rolled to his partner, and all of a sudden they were in business. They were able to sort of push the game towards our penalty area. They should have done better with the wide situation that they had, but they ended up sort of getting a shot at the Town goal. But there's a drinks break at the moment while this player is having some treatment. I don't really know what he did. He was comfortable on the ball, he was upright, he struck the shot nicely, but he went down immediately afterwards.
Haven't really got a midfielder on the bench to replace him. If an alteration had to be made, I'd imagine that Malumbi would go into the centre, where he's very much at home, and they do have some right-sided players that could replace Malumbi, but it's not looking too good at all at the moment for Ousmane Diakite. That was a real rarity, actually, an effort on goal in this first goalless 20 minutes between these two sides. He also underway at the moment, as you heard from Graham earlier on. Middlesbrough leading Watford 1-0. Charlton are playing Hull. Charlton, like West Brom, just need a point to be certain of staying up. And of course Hull in that battle with Wrexham to get back into the playoffs. Hull have been top six so long, they just dropped out recently. It's an intriguing battle between those two. Well, Diakite is limping off at the moment. No sign of a West Brom sub getting stripped, but his body language isn't particularly positive in terms of him continuing, or maybe now he's starting to move a little bit more freely. Play will resume with Walton's goal kick after that save of a couple of minutes ago now. Otherwise this game has flowed quite freely. So many of the Town supporters either in the blue or red shirts, one or two of the Ed Sheeran pinks in there behind Walton, as Walton gives the ball to O'Shea. Beautiful afternoon in the West Midlands for this game, absolutely perfect conditions. O'Shea to Taylor, talk about being maybe 19 degrees. West Brom still down to 10 men. Can Town capitalise? Good ball from Greaves, looking for Athon. It's an excellent ball. West Brom with a covering defender. Campbell gets in behind, then Clark closes down Imre. It's out for a throw to West Brom.
Yeah, it was a good testing ball. We almost got on the end of it, and that was good play, from Town.
West Brom throw. Imre, one of the liveliest players, getting ready to take this near the TV camera off to our left. Dan Neal and Ben Johnson, two of the Town subs, down this near touchline, watching on at the moment. Good rise from Athon, heading it on, looking for Clark. He's happy to allow Phillips to nod it out for a throw-in. Greaves, who has looked good in partnership with Clark when they played down that left together, has the ball above his head, looking for one or two choices for this throw-in. Mark Hudson very vocal amongst the Ipswich Town coaching staff. Good play between Athon and Mehmeti. Mehmeti runs into the area. That was excellent. Tries to find a little gap to play it to Taylor, who'd got into a number 9 position. Cleared by West Brom to halfway, headed by Kipre. Then up goes Diakite back on the field. Hegebo fouls Matusiwa. Free kick to Ipswich Town midway inside the West Brom half.
Yeah, it's a nice advanced position for a free kick, but it's very, very central. You're not sure whether you would go right or left here, but they're just gone short, and I don't blame them for doing that.
Town play the ball to the left-hand side. Kipre to Greaves. Then comes Greaves, low cross, maybe a chance for Taylor. No, it wouldn't run his way. It was Mowat who plays it out for Hegebo. Town with 5 wins in the draw in their last 8 on the road. That's not bad away form at all. Hegebo through a little gap to Price. West Brom looking for the opening goal of the game. Price tries to find DK. Good heading work. Oh, given away by Kipre. DK! What a save from Walton. What a mistake from Kipre. Oh, that was a terrible moment. Full credit to Christian Walton. Kipre really got away with one there back at the Hawthorns.
I don't know what he was doing. I mean, he couldn't wait for the goalkeeper. It wasn't a scene for the goalkeeper. Really just took it clear. If you're in trouble, respect it, deal with it in a sensible way, not try and be clever. And that's a great opportunity that he's conceded to West Bromwich. It really is. And he's got to be careful. That's not what we need.
Well done, Christian Walton. He was very sharp. And he's just telling his backline how to calm things down a bit. Here's Walton. He's had such a good season. Well, prevent it being 1-0 to West Brom there. Free kick to West Brom on the far side. Mowat knocks it into the town area, off to the right, headed over the bar by Phillips. He was never going to trouble Walton. He's heading it from about 12-13 yards out.
Yeah, we just got to try and, the key to me is with these systems, it is Mehmeti, who he should be able to find some room, but at the moment Mowat is trying to pick him up, but we've got to keep searching for him.
Forward from Furlong, headed down by Phillips, strong in the air. Nat Phillips, Mowat up towards DK, takes a tumble under a foul challenge by Kipre.
Yeah, I thought the earlier sort of challenges by the two centre-halves, mainly Kipre, were too aggressive. I'm sure the referee has taken sort of a note of those early ones, and he'll be tough from now on. If there's anything like that, it's going to be a free kick, because he'll be thinking they're doing it all the time.
Really good battles at the moment between O'Shea and Hegerberg and Kipre and DK. All big, strong players, happy to indulge in the physical side of the game. West Brom maybe marginally coming out the better in the last few moments anyway, ruffling a few feathers. Mowat plays this free kick square to Malumbi, who clips it to the edge of the Ipswich area. Up goes Furlong against Phillips. The ball drops down to McAteer. What can Town do in the break? Athon wants it in the middle. McAteer plays it to Mehmeti. Diakite stops him in his tracks. Three players in the end get around McAteer. Nothing he could do. Diakite just leaves Mehmeti in his wake. Mehmeti's still after him. Diakite has held up the ball well, looking for an option. Passed it out to the left-hand side. That's been warmly applauded. The work from Diakite. Still 0-0. 26th minute of this championship match. Third away at 20th in terms of the league table before kick-off. West Brom in the shape of Styles. I shall hear from Kieran McKenna post-match on BBC Radio Suffolk, and an Ipswich Town player as well. Ball back from Malumbi to Campbell. That was poor from West Brom. McAteer up towards Mehmeti. Mehmeti's gone down. The referee says play on. He was in a good position. Didn't look too much wrong with it from here either. Price.
Yeah, there wasn't much wrong with it, but we should have done an awful lot better. That was a giveaway from West Bromwich, and we should have progressed the play.
Campbell to Mowat. Mowat looked for the ball up to DK early on, so he's held on to it and given it short to Styles. There is Campbell. Phillips through a little gap into midfield, and Diakite. Matthew Seward goes towards him. Diakite passes the ball to Imre on the right-hand side. Imre looking towards DK. In goes Kipre, down goes DK. Free kick. Kipre must be getting very close to a yellow card. A cumulative one, really. I think here it comes. Yellow card for Cedric Kipre. And the home fans are enjoying that since he's 11th of the season. Yeah,
I think the linesman has seen what I've seen. The player that the ball was played up to, he's looking just to flick it over the top of Kipre. He sensed he was coming in to make a challenge. He did flick it on, and the challenge came. He went down, as they do. He's in the book now. Basically in trouble.
It's a concern, because Kipre has been playing very physically.
Yeah, he's in trouble.
As have O'Shea against those two strikers, which they've needed to do. The big forceful number 9s, the pair of them, DK and Hegerberg. But Kipre really, for the next 18 minutes and then the following 45, has to watch his step, and that could give DK chances. Free kick wide right to West Brom. 27.5 minutes played at Sunny Hawthorns. It's Price who knocks it into the Ipswich Town area. Beyond the far post, up goes Walton, who punches it away. As far as Styles, he brings it down, knocks it back in towards Malumbi. Offside flag against the Baggies.
Well, that's a relief. They are good down the sides. I think they're strong up front. They're pretty good down the sides, particularly this right-hand side. They can knock the ball around as well. They're in a false position, West Bromwich.
Yeah, definitely. They've been impressive. Mehmeti playing it round the back for Athon. Athon gets on the ball, lifted over the top of O'Leary, but away from goal. Ooh, that was half a chance for Town. West Brom caught out at the back. Good play from Ipswich. Kipre heads it onto the chest of Taylor. Taylor turns it back to Matusiwa. Greaves, urged on by the away crowd, gives it to Taylor. Again, one touch from Taylor. Finding Clark. Clark trying to run away from Imre. Imre kept his eye on the ball and made the challenge at just the right point. Out it goes.
Yeah, nice little response. We should have done better with the opportunity, really, but we look as if we're very much up for the game. We're not having it all our own way, but at least we're responding to things that West Bromwich do.
Greaves throws the ball to the byline and Clark gets it back to Greaves, who tiptoes around his man Malumbi. Excellent play from Greaves into the box to Mehmeti. Mehmeti turns, faces goal. Too many striped shirts in the way. He gives it to Furlong. Furlong has a go, deflected, and that was wide. Kieran McKenna's head's in his hands. He wondered what might have been had Furlong's shot not hit one of his own players.
Well, that's where we scored the goal from, down at Charlton. Similar play on the left, being switched across the park, and teeing Darnell Furlong up. Down at the Valley, he struck it beautifully, it went in the far corner. That one he's unfortunately hit a West Bromwich player, but he's in an excellent position.
Had that not come off somebody in front of him, that could have been very interesting. He seemed to meet it really well. O'Shea up against Hegerberg. Hegerberg's done well, but he's being fouled by O'Shea. Free kick. Tough afternoon for these two Ipswich Town centre-halves against these two boys.
They're cute as well. They know what they're doing. They know how to get their body in between the defender and the ball and just gain free kicks.
Very effective. DK, one of two Americans in this West Brom side. Here is Phillips going back to the centre spot, and Mowat. Campbell plays it square towards Phillips, the right side of the two. Phillips up towards Hegerberg. Hegerberg rise above O'Shea. Good header back by the Dane, picking out Price. Price running towards the Town box, has to release it back to Mowat. One touch to Styles over on the far side in the 31st minute. Still goalless at the Hawthorns, as even and tight as I expected this to be. There's been some nice stuff from both teams. West Brom in a thoroughly false position in terms of the league table, but I'm not surprised to see they're on such a long unbeaten run from what we've seen so far. Like a good team. Phillips to the right hand side. Imre sets his sights. In comes his cross towards Phillips, saved on the line by Walton again.
Yeah, did well. They're good. They're useful down this right hand side, but just the start of that build up, I saw the player that wanted to deliver to the front. He looked at the first striker, thought no, don't, he's tied up, hit the second man. That was the call years ago. Hit the second man being the furthest striker. That's the advantage you have with two strikers up front. You know, if you can't hit the first, you hit the second.
Furlong travelling with the ball to halfway, but then stopping, giving it back to O'Shea. O'Shea with a diagonal, looking for Greaves, unlucky. Too much on that.
Yeah, too much on it, but lovely position Jacob Greaves has taken up. He knows how to just drift into sort of those advanced positions. You have Leif Davis who sprints into those positions. Jacob just sort of reserves his energy and goes sort of early but very slowly and does really well. 32
on the clock. West Brom with a throw-in back at right back. Imre to take it. Walton's made one really good save from DK after a Kipre mistake, and one fairly straightforward one just then from Phillips, who started and almost finished that move. Nat Phillips, it's out for a throw to West Brom. Cost $3 million from Liverpool just last summer. Nat Phillips was on loan at Derby last season. 29 Liverpool appearances in various competitions. Nice to have that on your CV. Here is Mehmeti up against Mowat. Gives the ball to Matusiwa. First time he dabs it square to Furlong. Now O'Shea back to Furlong, who have Price for company. Furlong bypasses Price up to McAteer. He controls the ball with his back to Styles. Missed or dummied by Taylor. Either way, it's worked out well to Kipre. Kipre sets Greaves going forward down the left, approaching the left corner of the West Brom box. In comes his cross. It's a good one to McAteer, who hits it, and then Athon gets underneath it from 8 yards and puts it over the bar. Another missed opportunity by the Spaniard.
Well, that's all we see from him, is him sort of fist punching the ground, you know, and after a bad miss. And maybe he didn't expect it, but a good striker expects that. You know, the beautiful cross to the back post. Shot from McAteer, not quite, you know, what you want. He skewed it, but it's gone straight to the striker. It's gone straight to Athon, and he's really got to score. He's got to put those in the back of the net.
That's what the January signing that we all wanted would have done in that position. Is it going to cost Town? Hasn't so far, has to be said, as Matusiwa heads the ball to Clark. It's those fine margins. Here is Malumbi, plays the ball against Greaves. Greaves somehow managed to keep the ball in play. Then Clark was in the 50-50. Malumbi comes away with the ball just south of the centre circle, plays it to the right hand side, and Imre. Back come the Reds of Ipswich Town. Imre tries to play it around the back of them. Hegeba won't get on that. O'Shea should see it out behind, and the captain's done so.
Yeah, he did well there. Good sort of policing of the ball over the byline for a goal kick. Did well.
Walton puts the ball down centrally on the edge of his 6-yard box. Live on BBC Radio Suffolk Sport. 34 minutes played. Still waiting for the first goal. I thought should have scored it a few moments ago. Imre gets the ball from Kieran McKenna as he just looks around just inside the Ipswich Town half of the field. Diakite, lovely little spin, totally outwitted Jack Clark. On the right hand side is Imre. Imre's now on the ball. Clark's come back to help out at left back. Imre gets support from Diakite. He has time to take a touch and can cross if he wants. Instead he gives it to Mowat. Mowat getting into the area to the right hand side. Imre, good play from West Brom. Imre gets away from Taylor, can't keep the ball in. Luckily for Ipswich Town, he just overran it, Imre, but that was nice football from the home team.
Yeah, he changed his mind. He's got himself in a fabulous position. He's already on the byline when he's sort of thinking about getting one of those real sort of pacey crosses in that he does, and he just tried to progress it one more touch, got it completely wrong.
O'Shea, good ball up to Taylor. Taylor couldn't control it. Malumbi has given it to Diakite. Diakite's having a decent game in the middle. West Brom's turn to give it away. That was very loose from Price. Styles has had to sprint back into his own half and is on the ball. Now Diakite, seen so many worse teams than West Brom this season. Here is Imre. Imre infield towards Malumbi. Little left to Mowat. Price wants it to his left-hand side. Price gets it. Styles has gone on the overlap. Price looks up. In comes his cross to the Ipswich area. Towards DK beyond the far post. He slid in, but he couldn't get on it.
Yeah, they're a pretty decent team. They really are. You know, I'm delighted we're still sort of 0-0 because they've had the best moments as far as shots on target are concerned. We've got to really stay with this as much as we can. I've just seen Taylor miss one ball and actually get caught with another one. And I kept both times I'm thinking, I really seriously haven't seen him hardly at all. And it could be said about Matasiwa as well. We're sort of very short in midfield.
Bolton's kick reached Imre. Nice first touch again from Imre. He's really enjoying himself. Eventually the ball's out underneath us for a throw-in, which Jacob Greaves is on directly below us. 36.5 minutes played in this 12:30 kickoff at the Hawthorns. Of course, we will have full match commentary of Town at Southampton. 7 o'clock match nights on air on Tuesday, and then next Saturday, Town at home to QPR. Final game of the regular season for everyone in the Championship. Town drawing, Middlesbrough ahead, so Town just a point above Middlesbrough in the live table. It's Walton who clears out to the far side, nodded forward and out of play by Styles. Town back in the top 2 on goal difference, above Millwall as things stand. As I said earlier on, if this does end in a draw, Town would just need to win one of their last 2 games and nobody could stop them. Taylor over the top looking for the run of Mehmeti and a wrestle with Campbell. Then he runs into his old mate Max O'Leary. O'Leary gives him a pass on the back and then hits it high from left to right. Should be O'Shea's. O'Shea does the right thing, heads it away. West Brom pick up possession in the middle with Mowat. He finds Imre. Imre gives it back to Mowat. Now to Imre again down this right hand side. Puts it through the legs of Greaves. Nice nutmeg, but Athon is back there helping out. Good work from him. He plays it down the line to Clark. Greaves to Taylor. Taylor's going to try and get away from Mowat. He gives it to Furlong. Furlong to the halfway line of McAteer. Town trying to break forward. McAteer just keeps the ball in with pressure from Price. And the West Brom fans applaud because they forced Ipswich Town back into their own half, and all 10 striped shirts are behind the ball. Taylor. The ball up the halfway line to Furlong. Furlong over the top looking for the run of McAteer, nicely brought down by Styles. Styles back into his own area and finds his goalkeeper. Took a bit of a risk there, a little bit of maybe overconfidence.
Yeah, that's what it was. He just, he had control of the situation and then he wanted just to do a little bit too much and got himself into trouble.
Must be warm down there. Kieran McKenna's just chucked off his zip-up cardigan, now out in black t-shirt underneath us in the sunshine at the Hawthorns, watching on like the rest of us as Town get ready to take this throw in. Furlong with a throw into the West Brom area at 0-0, headed away by DK. Big jump from him, nodded down by Taylor though, and comes the cross from Furlong. It's charged down actually, it's gone out of play for the first corner kick of the game after 39 minutes.
That's handy. You know, we haven't really sort of put their 6-yard box under pressure too much. We had that one sort of chance that we squandered when Athon missed. It was a bit of a ricochet, found him, missed chance, but this type of scene we really haven't seen at all. So it'll be interesting to see what we can do.
It's a corner kick to Ipswich Town, approaching the final 5 minutes of this first half at the Hawthorns. It's 0-0. Jack Clark over in the far left corner in all red, puts his right hand in the air, that's the signal. In comes his delivery towards Taylor. Taylor heads it up towards goal, but it was always going to need the intervention of a colleague. He was nodding it from about 18-19 yards, but sadly it went straight to O'Leary, and that moment has now gone. O'Leary with a big kick up to Haggerber, having a bit of judo with O'Shea. Ball's out far side for a throw to West Brom.
Yeah, this is a different game altogether for our two centre-halves to what they're used to facing. We're 2v2, don't like it.
Thrown from Styles towards Price. Price goes down under a challenge from Furlong. Mowat tries to force his way through 2 or 3 players. Mehmeti's gone down, looked a little bit lightly, but referee's bought it, free kick. Yeah, this referee awarded Preston their winning goal penalty back in August, and then gave Middlesbrough one which they scored and Town one which George Hurst missed at the Riverside back in the autumn as well. Now, action like that in either penalty area. Poor ball from Clark, in goes Taylor, but West Brom get it back. Very lackadaisical from Jack Clark. Price to Campbell. Here is Mowat. Mowat, good ball up to Haggerber, trying to get away from Taylor. He's given it to Imre. Imre has a go, deflected off Greaves. Back to goal, won't quite come to Haggerber. Paul from Matusiwa! Oh, the shot from Haggerber was just wide. Walton would not have got it had it been on target. He was rooted to his goal line. West Brom not too far away from a 1-0 lead. Well,
he did very well. I thought his shot wasn't bad. His turn and shot, okay. But Price was right behind him, about 3 yards behind him, in a beautiful layoff position, and he didn't say anything, Price, but he walked back to the left touchline with his head down. I think he was pretty disappointed that wasn't set up for him.
I'll tell you who did say something, that's Christian Walton. He was having a right old go at Jack Taylor just after that. Another chance for West Brom, but it is still goalless in this game, which is fine for Ipswich Town in the greater scheme of things. West Brom with Mowat, ball forward towards DK. Will have to do it on his own. He's at 1 against 3. Now Haggerber bundles Furlong to the deck. So big and strong, as we keep saying, there's 2 centre forwards. West Brom have done well. They've got the ball out to left-hand side. Price, one touch. In comes his delivery towards Imre. Lovely ball. Imre touches it back really casually but effectively. Malumbi gives it to Mowat. Mowat on the edge of the box. Little give and go to DK. Back to Mowat. Mowat shoots. Walton saves. Lovely football from West Brom. I like this team.
Yeah, it's beautiful play. Well done, Christian. Again, he knew he could get that one, but he dealt with it very efficiently.
Town don't have to come here and win. Let's get them out of the way before next weekend. Here is Diakite. Again, the home crowd creating a good atmosphere inside this ground. Mowat back towards Campbell. On the centre spot was Phillips. West Brom haven't used him. Live on BBC Radio Suffolk Sport. 2 minutes of the first half to go. 0-0. Phillips with a no-look pass which didn't work out. Clark to the left-hand side. Athon making a run through the middle as Greaves as a striker. Athon's come in field, hasn't used him, but he's found McAteer. McAteer to the right-hand side. Mehmeti outside the West Brom area. Can Town hit West Brom just before half-time? Mehmeti's got the better of Price. Now he has to take on Styles as well. Squeezes the ball in, but only as far as Mowat. Mowat shaped to go long. In the end, he's given it short to Styles. Styles to Price. Out it goes to Haggerber. Nice play this from West Brom. They've found Campbell. Campbell with a switch of play to this right-hand side, and Malumbi. Across comes Greaves. Malumbi has Imre next to him. Square in midfield is Diakite. Now with Imre once again, back to halfway, and Malumbi, been a regular in Republic of Ireland squads for a long time, Jason Malumbi. Campbell to Styles. They progressed the ball really well down the field, West Brom, almost in the attack in third, not quite, as Styles gives it back to Malumbi. Imre in lots of space wide on the right. He's found good ball from Malumbi. Imre controls it, looks up, wants to take on Greaves and Clark before crossing. In the end, he's given it back towards Phillips. Final minute of the first 45. Mowat plays a ball into the box towards Styles, who got forward well. Styles couldn't keep it in. Up for a goal kick to Walton. I'm enjoying this as a game.
Yeah, well, they're playing really well. They've got some decent players, and we're doing well just to keep this as the scoreline is. I mean, we've had the one really good chance, but it's been against the run of play. I think we need half-time more than their manager needs half-time.
Walton, with potentially his final goal kick of the half. The board is about to go up. A really good save from DK. A couple of straightforward ones that he's been called upon to pull off. Kieran McKenna chatting to his staff member down below, says the ball is headed out by O'Shea for a through. Obviously to West Brom. O'Shea had already gone to Burnley, by the way, by the last time that Ipswich Town were here. That's why he wasn't part of that backline that I mentioned earlier on. 2 minutes of added on time, which we're into. Connor Townsend, part of the travelling party as well. So him having a few reunions pre-match. Mowat finds Imre. Another chance for him to torment Ipswich Town defensively. Showed too much of the ball to Clark. Good challenge from Clark. Diakite is on it. Back to halfway. And Phillips. Campbell back to Phillips. Almost into the final minute of the added on too. Mowat's a good player in midfield for West Brom. Now here he is. Once again. Diakite to Malumbi. Out to the left-hand side, Price. West Brom looking more likely to take a 1-0 lead in at half-time because they're on the attack. It's goalless here. Styles didn't read the little backheel layoff from Malumbi, and he's just carried it over the dead ball line.
Yeah, another super sort of bit of play by West Brom, but just shows you that you just get a little bit too clever at the end, and that's just all you need to do to make a mistake. That was too intricate in the end, and they just, the left fullback stumbled completely over the ball, and it came to nothing. But again, it's an excellent move through initially their midfield through Mowat and Diakite, Diakite has been awesome.
He has. Really impressive. Well, just like last night between Leicester and Millwall, it looks likely to be 0-0 at half-time. Furlong, foul, pulling on Hegerberg, far side. Free kick to West Brom. According to my watch, that's it for these added on 2 minutes. So they might be lucky and get a chance to knock it forward and create some havoc in the Town backline at the end of this first half. Free kick to West Brom, just inside Town's half. Town have got a very high line, around about 30 yards from Christian Walton's goal line. It's Mowat who's on this set piece for West Brom. It's been a good first half of football. For all, we've yet to see a goal. Long from Mowat. Will that change now? Headed away well by Athon, nodded on by Clark. That's it for the first half. Well, as I say, it's been a good game. Really nice on the eye. Two sides trying to play the right way. West Brom playing some really, really good stuff. Totally in contrast to their current league position, but you can see why they are a team at the moment looking for a 10th game unbeaten. It's been good stuff, but it's still 0-0 at the break, McMills.
Yeah, no disrespect to Charlton, who we saw on Wednesday. Charlton and West Bromwich in a similar position in the league table. Well, this team is totally different. This is more of a top of the table team, not right at the top, but certainly sort of playoff areas. They're good. West Brom are really good. They have most things. Their system is working a treat. They're playing a 4-4-2, which is a very unusual thing nowadays, but you see the benefits of it up front when you've got two targets and two strong players. It's something I do believe Kieran should think about occasionally, that when, it's the time is right just to use it, because I think it's very effective. Players in this division, and any division really, the centre-halves get so used to outnumbering the striker that they have a field day. But this is what West Brom have got. Two strong players up front, two willing players up front that causing trouble, and the two behind them in midfield are excellent. They really are excellent. Moet sits a little bit, he's the playmaker. Diakite is the big strong man that can run it, he can control it, he can head it, he can do pretty much everything, and then down the right hand side, the right back Imre is particularly very effective. So that this is a good team we're playing against, with those 5 players, if you like, being a little bit better than the other ones and the more effective ones. We have got we've stayed with them till half time. This half, the first half, has been West Bromwich without question. They've had more opportunities, more of the play, they just look better than us, and so we're taking it in at 0-0. Now it's, this is the off the field team have got to get to work on their boys, whether it's in the head or whether it's, are they feeling right? Do we need to make changes? Whatever. But we've got a system change maybe. Are we getting the most out of our free midfield player? I don't think so. There's all sorts of things that Kieran's got to consider. His talk in the next 10 minutes has got to be correct. It's got to be, on the nail, and he's got to sort his team out. He needs to lift this team a little bit. There's some bits and pieces are okay. Furlong's getting a little bit of freedom. When they get short in midfield, they call Isaac Price in to help out. When he comes in, it leaves Darnell Furlong with a little bit of freedom. He must be recognising that now, and he must try to exploit it in the second half. Jacob Greaves making good sort of movement down the left-hand side. We've got to think about that. Jacob has had a lot of space down the left side. Let's think about it. Let's automatically get the ball out to him. It's little things like that. I think Mehmeti is too much out of the game for me. He's not carrying a threat. He is what I would call a little bit of a liability at the moment, so therefore, do you look at that? Do you think about, do we push? Take a gamble, push, maybe one up, say go and play nearer Azon. Let's cause their centre-halves more of a problem. They're little things that you've got to consider. Decisions have got to be made. We haven't been at our best. West Brom probably have. We're 0-0, so the result is good. The result is excellent. The performance hasn't been so good. Of course, we've got Cedric Kipri, who's on a yellow card. He's done well to get to half-time because it was a fairly early card. And O'Shea and Kipri are in the middle of a very physical battle.
Yeah, it's going to be really interesting to see what develops in the second half on BBC Radio Suffolk Sport. But at the midway stage here at the Hawthorns, it's West Brom 0, Ipswich Town 0. 2
other lunchtime kickoffs in the Championship. Middlesbrough leading Watford by 2-0. Morgan Whittaker and David Strelec, they are up to 4th in the live table. Charlton leading Hull 1-0. Still playing at the end of the first half in that one. As things stand in the live table, Oxford are down, with West Brom on course for a point at the Hawthorns and Charlton on course for all 3. It's Fulham 1, Aston Villa 0 in the Premier League. 3 o'clock kickoffs. Liverpool home to Palace, West Ham versus Everton, and relegated Wolves at home to Tottenham. Arsenal versus Newcastle, the 5:30 kickoff. Just before that, the first of this weekend's FA Cup semi-finals gets underway. Manchester City at home to Southampton. A huge afternoon in store at Bury St Edmunds Rugby Club. We'll have more on that next.
On BBC iPlayer.
What are you doing here?
What are you doing here?
The casino. We're $9,000 down this month, so someone's robbing.
Starring Sheridan Smith and Michael Socher. How much have you taken?
I don't remember. What about you?
Not £1,000.
£1,000?
The odds are stacked against them.
Stack them, OK.
We have to stop. If I go to prison, me kids. The Cage.
We'll find a way through this. Me and you. There's no way we'll get caught.
Absolutely no way on earth. Watch all episodes from tomorrow on BBC iPlayer.
You're the match day on BBC Radio Suffolk. West Bromwich Albion 0, Ipswich Town 0. Half-time in our main feature. It's a busy day of non-league action locally. A point for Needham Market at home to Banbury this afternoon will guarantee the Market men a playoff place in the Southern Premier League. A point might be all Leicester need away at Alvechurch to secure a top 10 finish, while Bury Town finished their season at home to Kettering, and AFC Sudbury visit Hales Owen. In the Isthmian North Division, Felixstowe, Walter United and Mildenhall Town meet at the Martello ground later. The Seasiders have had a superb season, but will be pipped to the title by Malden and Tiptree and are therefore preparing themselves for the playoffs. Mildenhall have to win today and hope other results go their way to avoid relegation. Also today, Newmarket Town finished their season at home to Bowers and Pitsea. Lowestoft Town welcome Brightlingsea, and Brantham are also at home to Cambridge City. Home games today in the Thurlow Non-League playoffs for both Haverhill Rovers and Framlingham Town, while in the Suffolk Senior Cup semi-finals, Halesworth face Henley and Hawley take on Mutford and Wrentham. It's the third round of matches in the women's Rugby Six Nations today. Leaders England host Wales this afternoon. That one gets underway at 2:15. It could be someday at Bury St Edmunds Rugby Club. This afternoon, Bury face Old Albanians in National League 2 East, knowing a win for the Wolfpack will guarantee them the title and promotion to the third tier. Let's hear from the club's Director of Rugby, James Shanahan, to gauge how he's feeling ahead of the biggest match of his reign so far and the biggest fixture in the club's history.
Nervous but excited, confident. Obviously have to be, because we're at the top for a reason, but we obviously know that OAs were there for pretty much 23 weeks of the season, that they're a quality outfit, and I know they now can't finish any higher than third, but I'm sure they'd be like to brag that they spoiled our party. So nervous, excited, and confident. So can't wait.
It's been absolutely brilliant, talking about your story this season on the radio throughout. It's been fantastic. It's 7 wins in a row now, just to reel off a couple of stats again. 10 wins from 11 since the turn of the year. You've won 9 away games, which I think is the best that Bury has ever done at this level. It was a decent first half of the season, but the second half has just been absolutely remarkable. Yeah, and you touched there on the celebratory scenes you would like post match on Saturday. Is it a case now of just trying to block out the noise ahead of Saturday? I'm just wondering how difficult that is for you and your players to do, because obviously the prize this weekend is huge. But you mentioned it earlier as well. You'd be bitterly disappointed if you don't do it.
Yeah, I mean, look, there is going to be a load of outside noise, and to be honest, there has been the last couple of weeks, and I've, I after the Henley game, to be fair, I did speak to the players quite abruptly after the game, because we were in a really good position, and then in the end we won 33-28, and another week that you could have slipped up, and I talked about the fact that everyone outside of that group seems to be celebrating that we're going to get promoted, but we ain't done it yet, and we're still not there, and you got to get that out of your head. And what we have to focus on is the facts that we are top of the league, and if we put in a performance and win on Saturday, we win the league. There's no point in thinking about if, buts or maybes. We've just got to focus on we've earned the right by being top, how we've played over the season. We've earned that right to be top. We've earned that right to have an opportunity, and that's all it is. It's an opportunity to win a league, and it's really comes down to not like a cup final one-off game.
Final question, James, and I forgive you for not answering this one. It might be a case of saying, ask me this at full time on Saturday, but I'm just wondering, if you do it, how big an achievement would that be for you as a rugby coach? You've achieved a lot in your career already. How big would promotion with Bury be?
Yeah, I mean, it would be. I mean, any chance you get the opportunity to win something in sport is a huge honour, and something you need to look forward to and relish, and also strive for. And when I first came to Bury, that was my goal. My goal and my ambition was to get Bury into National 1, get the second team into Level 6. Now, did I feel I'd do it in year 1? If I'm honest, no. But I did expect or hope to do it within 3 years. So we've now got the opportunity. Like I said to the players on Saturday, look, you've got one hand on a league. But if I got it, it'd be a huge achievement. I'd be very proud, and hopefully I can enjoy it if it does happen. One thing I kind of not probably done over my long playing and then coaching career is that, I haven't really celebrated those moments. I kind of move on to the next job. And one of the things my wife says and others have said, look, you have to enjoy those moments because, they're few and far between. And so I'm hoping, come Saturday, 4:45 or whatever, the referee blows that final whistle, it will be a success. It will be promotion. And, hopefully I will enjoy it, savour it, and kind of get be part of something that's very special.
Bury St Edmunds Director of Rugby James Shanahan speaking ahead of the Wolfpack's match with Old Albanians this afternoon. A title decider. Russell Claydon will be at the Haverden for BBC Radio Suffolk in this extended matchday programme. At second half on the way next from the Hawthorns.
It's Malumbi, the Irishman. In comes his cross. It's a good ball. It's headed over the bar by Phillips, the former Liverpool player. Bright start from West Brom. Hegerberg through a little gap to Price. West Brom looking for the opening goal of the game. Price tries to find DK. Good heading work. Oh, given away by Kipre. DK! What a save from Walton. What a mistake from Kipre. Oh, that was a terrible moment. Full credit to Christian Walton. Phillips to the right-hand side. Imre sets his sights. In comes his cross towards Phillips. Saved on the line by Walton again. Kipre sets Greaves going forward down the left, approaching the left corner of the West Brom box. In comes his cross. It's a good one to McAtee, who hits it, and then Athon gets underneath it from 8 yards and puts it over the bar. Another missed opportunity by the Spaniard. Here is Mowat. Good ball up to Hegerberg, trying to get away from Taylor. He's given it to Imre. Imre has a go, deflected off Greaves. Back to goal, won't quite come to Hegerberg. Ball from Matthew Siwa. Oh, the shot from Hegerberg was just wide. Walton would not have got it had it been on target. He was rooted to his goal line. West Brom not too far away from a 1-0 lead.
There's more to this place than meets the eye.
Books bound in human skin. I think whatever way you look at events in this secret Suffolk, they are really very gruesome.
95 years, you want me to describe in a couple of seconds, I expect. Well, I was a Scotland Yard officer, was 6 years at Downing Street. So I got a good feel for what was really secret and what wasn't.
Rumours were there were death rays in Germany, so the government offered a prize of £1,000.
I said I thought it was a very poor possibility.
Thankfully, Robert Watson Watt didn't invent the death ray. Secret Suffolk. Listen now on BBC Sounds.
A reminder, we're with you through until 6 o'clock with Matchday this afternoon. Your calls, texts and WhatsApps most welcome at full time after our main feature at the Hawthorns. Later, we're around the grounds locally. Stephen Foster watching Felixstowe and Walton United versus Mildenhall Town. Gary Buttons at Lowestoft Town. I've mentioned Russell Claydon covering Bury St Edmunds. Big rugby match with Old Albanians this afternoon. Plus, we've reaction to Thursday's win for Ipswich Speedway at Vauxhall. We'll hear from Ipswich basketball captain Harriet Wellham as well. Just a reminder of the scores so far today in the Championship. It was a late equaliser for Hull at the end of the first half at the Valley, so it's 1-1 there. Second half just getting underway at the Riverside. Middlesbrough leading Watford by 2-0. At the Hawthorns, Town are level with West Brom in our main feature. Let's rejoin Mick Mills and Brenner Woolley. Just looking at the Championship table, Brenner, is this right? West Brom are 20th in the table?
I know, it's unbelievable. That tells a story, but so does their recent form, and it's their recent form that's been mirrored in this performance so far. They've been good. I mean, they're not world beaters, they're not phenomenal, but on this form, the way they're playing, they should be an awful lot higher up the table, but it's obviously too little too late in terms of having any kind of push for the playoffs, but it's been enough to correctly get them away from danger that they're not going to get relegated from this division, and they were very good in that first half and could be a force next season when hopefully we'll not be interested in that at all because we will be in the Premier League. And whilst West Brom have been the better side in that first half, a lot of us would have taken a draw from this game, and that's where we're at, no goals apiece as the two teams start to come out for the second half. Walton, the Ipswich Town goalkeeper, will be between the posts off to our left. He's just come out. Back for Furlong, O'Shea the captain, Kipre on a yellow and Greaves at left back. Then you've got Matthew Siwa alongside Taylor. Then it's an attacking three of McAtee, Mameti and Clark up front. Athon, who missed the best chance of that first half. On the bench, Palmer, Neil Burns, Hurst, Philogene, Cayuste, Johnson Akpom, Nunez. The home goalkeeper is O'Leary. His back four: Imre, Phillips, Campbell, Styles across the midfield, and Malumbi, Mowat the captain, Diakite and Price. And up front they've got DK and Hegeba, who, as we said during that first half, have been a real handful for O'Shea and Kipre. On the bench, Griffiths, Gilchrist, Taylor, Jimo Aloba, Bostock, Banny, Grant, Madger and Sula. West Brom and then navy blue and white striped shirts, white shorts and blue and white socks will be kicking off against the all red of Ipswich Town. So Town in all red, playing from left to right, playing towards their thousands of away fans jam-packed in to the standoff to our right hand side. Play underway. Is there to be a winner in this game? What a win it would be for Ipswich Town. What it would mean in terms of them being so close to the Premier League next season if they can pull it off. Let's see what else West Brom have got in the tank. See if they can carry on where they left off in the first half, where they were in the ascendancy. Throw in that Styles is going to be taken. We get a bird's eye view of the West Brom left back in this second half. He gets it down the line to Price, and it comes from Mowat. Off the knees of Taylor it goes, and West Brom get their first corner kick of the entire game 36 seconds into the second half.
Well, they're a bit fortunate there. They took ages to take the throw in. They didn't seem to know what they were doing, and then through their desperation, they actually win a corner kick, so they're a bit fortunate there.
Price on this corner kick for West Brom. First one of the game for them in the 46th minute. Bolton gets shoved in the back and stumbles on his goal line. Then shoves Malumbi, who goes down very easily. Malumbi, the referee wants a word with both of them. West Brom fans are shouting off. Walton's going to get a word, but no more than that.
Walton's wasn't actually the worst one. I don't know who it was. Town player shoved another West Bromwich player and he went down like a ton of bricks.
Referee speaking to Malumbi and Walton. No card, understandably so. Well done, Mr. Donoghue. Finally, Price will get the chance to cause some mayhem in the Ipswich Town penalty area with West Brom's first corner kick of the game right at the start of the second half. It's still 0-0 on BBC Radio Suffolk Sport. In comes the right footer. Fairly flat delivery. Flick headers away from goal. It's an improvised finish. It's gone wide of the far post from Hegeba.
Well, that's incredible. We actually had 9 players in the 6-yard box and we didn't win the ball in. That's incredible.
Bolton in front of that standoff to our left with a fair few people. A lot of them in sunshine, just making their way back to their seats from the half-time interval. Walton left-footed up towards Athon. Athon's flick on away from Phillips. Clark rise against Imre. Mowat didn't see that Mehmeti was in his rear view mirror, almost ran into trouble. Up from Styles to Hegeba, takes the ball on his left thigh, wants to get away from Furlong, lays it off to Mowat. Mowat fires a ball to Price down the left hand side. Good block challenge from Furlong. Then Mehmeti gets the better of Mowat. Up towards Athon, comes off a West Brom player. Phillips turns it back to his goalkeeper. It's a bouncing ball, so McAteer is within his rights to close down O'Leary, but O'Leary is able to fire it out on the far side for a throw to Jacob Greaves. Kieran McKenna's got his cardy back on now that he's in shade underneath us. His thoughts will be on match day later on this afternoon on BBC Radio Suffolk, as will yours. Be very welcome. 0800 141 2121. Have a chat to Graham and Mick, or text 81333. So his messages SFK. Mehmeti down the left hand side to Clark, might have to go it alone, holds it up, looked into the middle, and eventually under pressure from Campbell it's gone out. Now he's annoyed that there's nobody in the centre. Clark, he's having his say with his teammates. It's a West Brom goal kick. Yeah, the other numbers, WhatsApp 08000 321 333. Start those SFK. And if you want to join me on Monday's Blue Hour programme on BBC Radio Suffolk between 6 and 7 every Monday night, talking all things Ipswich Town, as both the men and the women head towards the end of their respective seasons. The email is brenner@bbc.co.uk, BRENNER@bbc.co.uk. O'Leary kicks the ball long downfield. Kipper is there. He gets it up. It's one for Furlong to challenge in the air for. He gets the better of Price, then gets to the halfway line, can't do anything with it. It's going to be a throw to West Brom. Furlong's unhappy with that, but it's clearly the right decision. Styles takes the ball from the Ipswich Town backroom staff. and has this throw-in. Styles down the line, up towards DK, but in the way was Matusiwa. The flick header from McAteer. Diakite stamps it down to the left. Styles has done well through a little gap to Mowat. Up towards DK, chests it to Styles. Lovely play. Styles likes to get forward from left back. Taylor gets in the way. Hegerber goes after the ball. So to O'Shea. Nice build-up play from West Brom. Furlong's taken out by Price. Throw in, nothing more, says the referee. In it comes towards Kipre, headed away by Kipre to Taylor. Taylor along the floor looks for Greaves. West Brom pressing all over Ipswich Town at the back, very energetic. Given away, under pressure by Ipswich Town. Imre, edge of the box, low ball in towards Hegerber, comes off Kipre, bouncing around in there, appeals for handball, nothing doing, says the referee. No West Brom players appealed for it, really, more from the crowd. So it's Greaves behind left back. West Brom really getting on top of Ipswich Town, forcing errors at the back. Ball's out for a throw to Town.
Well, that's what we're not used to. We're trying to play the ball around at the back, and they've got 4 forwards, you know, so every player, every defender we've got has got a man to deal with on or off the ball, and they're pressing all the time, and in the end a mistake comes, you know, it's forced out of the Town players, and they've really put us under pressure again.
6 minutes gone in the second half. Still no goals. Live on BBC Radio Suffolk at the Hawthorns. West Brom, as I said at the start, with 6 clean sheets in their last 7. That's a phenomenal record. Greaves plays the ball in field, but only to Price. Price heads it up to DK. West Brom on the ball, looking for the first goal of the game. DK trying to take on Matusiwa. Taylor steps in there. Kipre gives it to McAteer, who stands on the ball. West Brom win it back. They're so sharp at the moment. Really got life in their side, really playing with a purpose, and far from a team strolling through a game which ultimately doesn't mean a massive amount to them. Here come West Brom, lovely play down the right hand side. Imre getting away goal side of Clark. No ball into DK, saved by Walton. Really good save from Walton, brilliant from the goalkeeper. That was again good football from West Brom. Here is Mowat, lovely take, then he goes down, no foul. Taylor for Ipswich Town on the break, inside his own half, blocked off by Price. DK up against O'Shea, nudge to the ground O'Shea. West Brom almost get the ball back. Furlong can't get it away. This game's been played 100 miles an hour at the moment. Diakite gets the better of Mameti. Styles will shield it out against McAteer. Town really under the cosh.
They've absolutely forced mistakes out of us, and in the end, on that far side where the chance came from, Jack Clark didn't handle the give and go down the touchline, and in the end they get the cross in, and they just squandered a good enough chance to rival Athon's chance.
Mowat infield towards Malumbi. Malumbi up against Matusiwa, tries to get into the Ipswich Town area, eventually goes down. Malumbi, nothing other than a goal kick. Well done, Mr. Donahue, and no appeals again down there. Malumbi just lost his footing. Walton passes it out towards Greaves. Greaves up towards Athon. Back towards Greaves on the far side. His touch lets him down. This at the moment would be a very, very good point for Ipswich Town. It would be a remarkable, phenomenal win if they could pull it off. Here is Diakite. Diakite away from Clark. Clark couldn't lay a glove on him. Diakite is about twice the size of Clark, just powerfully went round about him and then fired a pass back at Phillips. Out to the left-hand side is Styles. Styles up towards... At the moment, West Brom are one of the best sides. Genuine, I've seen it's been a very poor championship season for me in terms of standard of football at this level. West Brom as good as anyone at the moment. Here is Mameti against the run of play. What can Ipswich Town do? We know they've got it in them. Matusiwa checks round, plays it square. Town finally in the second half have a chance to come forward. Good ball from Greaves to Clark inside the area, just outside the box. Gives it back to Greaves. Greaves inside the penalty area. Has it go? Blocked off. Corner kick. Good reaction that from Ipswich Town.
That was excellent. We had 5 in the penalty area initially, and then Jacob Greaves gets himself in the penalty area for the second phase. Excellent forward play.
What a time to score this would be. West Brom have been on top, playing exceptionally well. Ipswich Town now have a corner kick in the 55th minute. Anis Mameti in front of the travelling tractor boys and girls. Right-footed, in it swings, plenty players there, headed down, fully cleared by Imre, as far as Matusiwa. Matusiwa controls it, dinks it out to the left-hand side, and Mehmeti, the corner kick taker. Mehmeti brings it down. Can he get another ball in? No charge down as far as Clark. Clark, what's he going to do? He's going to play it square to Taylor. Good pressure from Town. Taylor has a drive blocked off by Mowat. High it goes up in the air. Mowat then nods it out. Through to Ipswich, reacting ever so well to that pressure they've been under.
Yeah, but I'm don't agree with the shot there. I think a little clip. You've got all the centre. You've got centre halves, everybody up there. Just angle your ball to the back post. Shooting from there. You've got to. Wow, you're trying to steer it through an absolutely jam full of people.
Furlong underneath us, winding up a long throw into the West Brom area after 55 minutes, and it comes from the former Baggy. It's deceived a lot of people. Clark beyond the far post. Oh my goodness me. He stayed flat on the deck, head bowed, because the ball seemed to go right through him. That was a really presentable chance for Jack Clark. He can't believe it, and nor can I, that he's not made any contact.
Well, the ball's gone all the way through the rucker players, and Jack Clark's on the outside of all that lot. If he had any confidence in his left foot at all, he would have put boot to ball and it would have been in the back of the net. In the end, he hesitated, and it goes through his legs.
It's one goal from open play in 18 matches, including this for Jack Clark. The goals have dried up apart from penalties. Matusiwa on Malumbu, free kick to West Brom. Finally, Azor Matusiwa gets his 10th yellow card of the season. We expected it about 3 months ago. So if he doesn't get another one in this game, he's been tugged away by Furlong. Free kick probably too far out for a shot, but I'm sure they've got something clever up their collective sleeves, West Brom. Still very watchable game of football.
Yeah, it's got good pace about it. There's a lot of anxiety about it, but it's really not end to end, but it's got good quality about it. It really has.
Yeah, it has. One of the most enjoyable ones for a while, even though Ipswich Town, sadly at the moment, aren't leading. As you say, a point would be massive. Wes Burns walking back without his tracksuit bottoms on, but that's maybe just because of the warm weather rather than any sign that he might be about to come on. Mowat to Price. West Brom work this free kick out to the right hand side, and Imre blocked off by Clark, kept in on the far side by Price for Mowat on the halfway line. He's had a good game for West Brom. Changes are afoot, perhaps from the Ipswich Town bench, maybe signs that Marcelino Nunez could be coming on. Price goes long for West Brom, deflects off an Ipswich Town player. Up goes O'Shea, so too DK, who clatters into O'Shea, who's gone down holding his head. DK might become the first West Brom player to get a yellow card now, or is he? The referee, yeah, he's decided he doesn't want to chat to the American.
Yeah, I think so.
Yellow card for him, that was.
Their strikers
late.
are as aggressive as our two centre-back, so just tit for tat.
Let's go back to Graham.
A couple more goals at the Riverside. Watford got one back, 2-1. Morgan Whittaker, though, with his second for Borough, 3-1.
Well, unbeaten in 6 here, West Brom. They did lose here 5-0 to Norwich, when Norwich from their absolute pomp under Philippe Clement back in January. As Kipre with the ball rolling again, plays it over the top towards Mehmeti. Unlucky, lovely pick out from Kipre. Would have been a sensational pass. West Brom playing it short from the back. Campbell gives it to Price. First time lay off to this near side. Still 90 seconds shy of the hour mark. A long old way to go in this championship match. Could be one where subs make an impact. Price with a back heel against Furlong. Ball's out of play for to West Brom for me. It's gone the way of Ipswich Town though.
Yeah, I would have gone that way.
Furlong with a through, too much on it for McAteer.
That's very sporting. I think Darnell Furlong agreed with that and threw it out of play.
Yeah, nice touch from Darnell.
Well done, Darnell. Very sporting.
Philogene coming on as well, by the looks of things, for Ipswich Town. Played, of course, a fair bit of football for Aston Villa at various levels. So let's see what Town can do about this. Only one win in their last 7 league meetings anywhere against West Brom. But of course there are some memorable meetings down the years. The 1978 FA Cup semi-final at Highbury, one of those. It's actually 50 years this year since Ipswich Town beat the Baggies 7-0 at Portman Road. Quirkily enough, they actually lost 4-0 here at Ipswich Town that very season. A bizarre turnaround in fortunes. O'Shea with a strong header forward, glancing off the top of Phillips and back to his goalkeeper O'Leary. Live on BBC Radio Suffolk Sport. We're still 0-0, but the changes are coming from the Town bench. It sounds that maybe Wes Burns has taken off a layer as well from O'Leary. Wouldn't it be just like him to come on and get the winner? Here is Furlong. Scored in Ipswich Town's last two promotion deciders. Burns, great header from Athon to the right hand side. Mehmeti, there's only Clark to hit in the middle. Athon hasn't made up the ground just yet. Attempted clearance comes off Styles. McAteer back to Mehmeti, trying to roll away from Price. Mehmeti gives the ball back to Matusiwa. Infield to Taylor. Taylor tries to get away from Diakite, sets it up for Clark. Clark bursts into the D, into the area and has a go, but it's just wide off his left boot.
That was nice. We come off the right touchline where we looked as if we were a little bit bogged down, but we sort of managed through Furlong. We got a spare player on the ball, got more comfortable on the ball, worked it nicely across the field. Jack Clark receives it just outside the box and has a little sort of pop with his left foot, and it wasn't bad. He should have done that before when he had the good chance.
Here is O'Leary. Still no way of telling where the points are going, or if indeed they are going to be shared. 0-0, 61 minutes played. Still continues to be a really good watch between these two sides. DK heads the ball on and out. Furlong picks up a replacement off a cone. The Town back in action Tuesday night down at St Mary's. This run of 3 successive away games ends on the south coast, and then next Saturday lunchtime, obviously everybody plays at the same time, 12:30 kick-off against QPR. At the moment, if things stay as they are here, Town just need 3 more points to absolutely guarantee promotion. Diakite, then goes McAteer, out goes the ball for a throw. It's going to be taken by Furlong. There's 2 players, Nunez and Philogene, who have settled back down on the bench, but both ready to come on. Their names and numbers clearly visible. Clark collects the ball far side, making a run forward is Greaves. Clark tries to thread it through towards Mehmeti, just away from the idea was right, just not the execution.
Yeah, the crossfield ball was superb. I didn't believe that was a possibility. They got that out to sort of to the left touchline, but then the next ball through was really woefully overhit. This is a dull sort of moment in what has been a very lively encounter. So it'd be interesting who's going to come out of this period of dullness to actually be the team to take over affairs. This is the sort of situation where Town might be the team that all of a sudden comes out of this position, and it might just affect West Brom a little bit towards the end of the game.
Do love the chant Premier League, you're having a laugh. That's one of our favourites. That's what the Town fans are getting at the moment from the Baggies supporters. Up goes Taylor, sandwiched out by 2 players. Good advantage played by the referee. McAteer running freely, square in midfield to Clark to his left hand side, edge of the West Brom box. It's 0-0 as Clark checks back to Matusiwa. He'll prod it forward. Furlong's on it inside the area. He shoots at the near post. It went through Styles. O'Leary had to be alert and kept the door shut on his near post. O'Leary, quick ball out to the left-hand side, and Price, end-to-end stuff. Not a great deal of support in the centre, just the 2 strikers. Price has held on to it, then he slows down by Taylor. The ball deflects into Walton's area. O'Shea's header goes out behind for a rather scruffy corner kick to West Brom.
Yeah, but that's what you call end-to-end stuff. Furlong with a lovely shot on the angle. He struck it beautifully. The goalkeeper had to deal with it. But he had the presence of mind to deliver early. He knew that Furlong was out of position, so he delivered up our right-hand side, and they've won a corner from it.
It's the last corner kick that Ipswich Town starting 11 will have to defend. Philogene and Nunez primed to come off the bench underneath us, but for the moment Walton and the 10 red shirts off to our left have got to deal with this Isaac Price corner, and it comes for West Brom beyond the far post. Kipre probably got a shout and ducked underneath it, out for a goal kick to Walton.
Yep, that was sort of a poor kick, really. You shouldn't sort of hit it beyond everybody. You know, there's such an important sort of danger zone from goal corner kicks that you shouldn't miss it. It's big enough.
We'll have to take this goal kick in a moment because the changes are coming off. Goes Mehmeti to be replaced by Nunez, and Clark is already realising that his number's about to come up. He applauds the travelling fans as he is replaced by Jaden Philogene, as it's set up for one of his blockbusters. Could well be Jaden, as it's got above the number 11, comes on for Clark. Clark clearly disappointed. He's had a couple of chances there to put Town ahead.
Yeah, it's always difficult for the opposition right back when they're playing against Clark 1 minute, he's a trickster, and then all of a sudden you're playing against Philogene, who's a runner, you know, somebody who can run over long distances, and it's a totally different job. So, you know, it's difficult for their right back.
So I think we're going to see Burns at some stage. He's warming up underneath us with his yellow bib on. So too George Hurst. That could be the next change. Matusiwa challenges Diakite. Diakite still comes away with the ball. In steps Greaves. Greaves has done very well. Greaves to Philogene. Greaves has continued his run. Philogene has held on to it and instead gone slightly backwards to Taylor. 20 minutes gone in the second half at the Hawthorn. Still no goals between these two sides. No doubt Millwall fans following this game as closely as those of Ipswich Town that aren't here. Taylor. They will be willing West Brom to go on and win this game as Taylor goes back to Kipre. Got that yellow card in the first half. James Morrison speaking to one of his staff off the West Brom bench. Now Walton made a couple of really important saves in this game from the busier of the two keepers. Kipre up to Philogene. Philogene controls the ball, almost loses it, still has it, and then goes back to O'Shea. Kipre allows the ball to go to Greaves. Ipswich have it on the halfway line in all red. Greaves receives it from Taylor, tries to play it forward to Philogene. West Brom have a player in the way. It's cleared by Imrie, looking for DK, didn't reach him. The Baggies getting men behind the ball. It's two banks of four as Greaves finds Kipre. Slight lull since the changes were made. Does tend to happen in games. Kipre down the line, infield from Philogene. Athon goes to ground as he chests it back to Matusiwa. Matusiwa with a good switch. No, Styles won the header. Styles' header in field might be picked up by Nunez. Price goes down. McAteer comes away with the ball. Furlong down this touchline to McAteer. Tried to play it back to Furlong. Closed down by Price. Through to Darnell Furlong of Ipswich. We're into the final quarter of this match. It's going to get more and more tense, more and more nervy and awkward to watch as this game progresses. The goal for either side is absolutely massive. O'Shea to Taylor. Now in the centre, Kipre. Kipre along the floor, looks to Philogene. Philogene gets it, goes away from Imrie. Now wants to take him on again, bypasses him with the ball to Greaves. Back to Philogene once more, plenty of players to hit in the centre. Philogene's held on to the ball, let's step over. Gets to the left corner of the area, and it goes to Greaves. Greaves with the ball into the box looking for Matusiwa, who'd made a good run, well spotted by Greaves. Matusiwa by the dead ball line. Here is Greaves. It's all happening in the right back area outside the West Brom box. In comes across from Philogene. Up goes Campbell, then Price. Away it goes. Furlong gets there ahead of Hegerber and nods it to O'Shea. Town having a little spell at the moment. Taylor out to the left-hand side. Greaves. Can Ipswich make it count? Greaves ball into the centre. Charged down by Imrie. Corner kick to Ipswich Town.
Yeah, this is their spell. This is the Town spell. They've waited a long, long time for it, but they are actually starting to dominate the ball over a period of time. And a little bit worried about Matusiwa. I think he's concerned about a little knock he's got.
Town having a little spell at the Hawthorns. Can they capitalise on it? Can they get the first goal of this game. Nunez on this corner kick for Ipswich, and it comes awful. Headed back to him. What can he do with a moving ball? He's given it short to Philogene. Philogene, one touch, then has a go. Saved by O'Leary! Kipper is offside as he puts it into the net. His dreams are shattered, and those of thousands of Ipswich Town supporters behind that goal, but the flag was up correctly, nice and early, and it's still goalless.
It would have done us the world of good, obviously, if it had gone in, but the fact that we've actually got the ball in the back of the net, whether it's offside or not, it's a good thing, because all of a sudden this is at the end of a nice little spell, the best spell we've had, and we've badly needed it. You just don't know what would be going through West Bromwich's players' minds now. You know, will they start sort of getting wow, this was really, we should be 1 or 2 in front, we're not, and then start getting worried about it. So just keep putting pressure on them now. You might just, detect a weakness in them.
West Brom about to make a change. Josh Madger is coming in to pep up their forward line. 20 minutes to go. Maybe run out of steam, West Brom. They were working so hard. That first 5 minutes of the second half was terrific pressing from them. It's now impossible to carry on in that vein at the end of game 45 of the season for them. So Madger will probably replace DK, who's on a yellow. The other option is Hegerberg. I doubt they're going to change their system now. West Brom, and it is DK. He was going off, put himself about. The Town centre-halves, I've always known that he's been on the field. Kipre in particular, and also he did flatten Dara O'Shea on one occasion, DK. One round of applause. And it's Madger, who started his career at Sunderland, had a little spell at Fulham, was in Bordeaux, played in French football for a few years before turning up here. 12 goals last season. He's had his injury problems this time around, but on his day he's a really good championship striker. For the moment, Hurst and Burns have sat down on the bench, but they've taken off their bibs. They're going to be coming on soon. A couple of the veterans of 2 years ago. I say Burns has scored in Town's last 2 promotion games against Exeter and Huddersfield. Could it happen 3 times in a row next Saturday? McAteer up in the air. Campbell gets the better of Athon. Kipre, good flicked header up the halfway line to Greaves. Out to the far side. Philogene back into Greaves. A bit more belief that Town can make the breakthrough at the moment. Philogene, recently introduced, up to Taylor. Taylor goes square to the far side, and Greaves challenged by Imre. In comes the challenge of Malumbi. Philogene gets the better of him, runs into traffic, but gets the ball through to Greaves. Greaves back to Philogene. Nice play from the 2 left-sided players. Philogene's outside the West Brom area, tries to go towards the byline. Imre's going to shield that. It's not got enough on it, so he tries a clever back heel. Risky, but it worked out. And then Mowat is bundled over by...
Bit tame.
Athon. Yeah, it was, wasn't it? 17 and a half minutes to go. Don't start biting your nails just yet. You've got to leave some for Tuesday night and next Saturday. O'Leary out of his area to take this free kick. You'll hear from Kieran McKenna comfortably before we're off air in this extended match day at 6 o'clock, and also an Ipswich Town player. And we'd like to hear from you as well. 0800 141 2121 is the phone number. Text 81333. Start those messages. SFK WhatsApp 08000 321 333. Also start those SFK. I'll give you details of getting in touch with me on the Blue Arrow Monday in a moment. West Brom trying to get forward down their right. They can't. Taylor up towards Athon. Athon chucked down by Phillips. Yeah, if you want to get in touch and be involved in Monday's Blue Hour show on BBC Radio Suffolk, email me brenner@bbc.co.uk, and on the night you can also get involved via those numbers. Kipre, early free kick forward towards Philogene. Philogene's got the better of Imre, just inside the area, looking for support, might not need it. On his right foot, still has it Philogene. Held up by Diakite, gets it through the legs of him to Furlong. Furlong 20 yards from goal. McAteer short to Nunez, edge of the box. Now back to goal. Town passing it around. Nunez's pass is poor. Kipper is forced to go back inside his own area.
It's a poor pass and the wrong selection for me as well.
O'Shea out to the left-hand side. Greaves gets there ahead of Malumbi. Infield, he gives it to Taylor. One touch from Nunez. Under the feet of Feligin for a throw to West Brom, which will allow Town to make the changes. Burns and Hurst coming on. Imre's waiting. McAteer knows that his time is up. But first of all, Athon will be replaced by Hurst. And McAteer knows as well. He started to come across even before the red number 20's come up alongside the green number 7. Wes Burns back for the final quarter of an hour of this game. One of the most popular players, quite rightly, in Ipswich Town's recent history. What a part he has played. It'd be lovely to see him play in the Premier League next season. So unfortunate with serious injuries, both against Liverpool coincidentally last year. Ball's just kept in far side by Taylor. Good work from him. Up towards Hurst. Hurst's layoff doesn't find Feligin. West Brom get it back via Campbell to O'Leary. O'Leary clears away from Nunez. Long downfield towards Madger. Just on. Decent first touch. O'Shea gets in there. Holds up Madger. Madger on the right-hand side. In comes his cross. This is centre towards Hegebo. Well held by Walton under pressure from Hegebo and one of his own players as well.
Yeah, he's done well, Walton, so far today.
Very well. Burns does well to get it down the line to Nunez. Back in field to Burns. Burns in a challenge with Diakite. Goes over the top of him. And the referee blows his whistle, deeming that to be a foul from Burns. Mowat develops. West Brom in blue and white stripes have the ball inside their half of the field. We're into the final quarter of an hour of this game. Let's see how ambitious either of these two teams is going to be. Of course, Town haven't had their customary penalty yet, so we shouldn't be too worried. That's kind of the national narrative at the moment. People moaning about the three certainties in life being death, taxes, and Ipswich Town getting a penalty. Lots of negativity or jealousy, perhaps, around fans of other clubs. 10 so far this season. Greaves up towards Hurst. Hurst rides the challenge, but there's already been a foul committed on Greaves, so Ipswich have a free kick.
Well, so far, what we've done so far this half, we've taken away the West Bromwich domination. You know, they're certainly not dominating the game anymore. It's us that are actually probably in a bit of an ascendancy.
Yeah, they are, aren't they? Got to make it count. Furlong up to Campbell, or at least not be hit by a sucker punch. In goes Burns again, seen a fair bit of the ball. Furlong finds Matthew Siwa, who in turn one touch goes back to O'Shea. Kipre, that's a good clever ball up to Taylor on the centre spot, through a little gap to Nunez, lets it go between his legs and gives it to Burns on the right hand side. Burns has a chance to run at Styles. Early ball in from Burns, looks a good one towards Hurst. West Brom get it away. Bright play from Burns down the right hand side. Just get it and get it into the area. Burns wide on the right, shaped across left footed. Styles nipped it away from him. Magellan steps between Matthew Siwa and Burns. Imagine another big strong striker off the West Brom conveyor belt. Mowat, who must be tiring, just holding his calves actually as I say that, Alex Mowat. Malumbi, just a tiny bit inside Ipswich Town's half of the field. 32.5 minutes gone in the second half, 0-0. Malumbi has Imre close to him. Infield it goes to Diakite. Up towards Madger. Madger tries to turn it onto Hegebo. Skips away from the challenge of Greaves, does Madger. No immediate danger. Gives it back to Malumbi. He'll try and change that, or will he? No, he's decided not to cross. Instead, he's given it back to Diakite. Infield to Mowat. Back it goes to Malumbi on the right. Remember, Town needing 4 points ahead of this one to be promoted to the Premier League. The moment they've got a grip on one. Left side, Styles gets away from Burns. Grant about to come on for West Brom, another attacker who scored goals at this level before. Campbell robbed by Burns, who read the dummy. Campbell comes back and then nudges Burns to the deck. The referee's going to award a free kick and give a yellow card to Campbell, who was caught out there. Let's go back to Graham.
Charlton in front again at home to Hull, 2-1. Tommy Conway from the penalty spot for Middlesbrough. They're 4-1 up at home to Watford.
Middlesbrough's goal difference not a big issue, in case you're wondering. They were plus 21 ahead of this game. Town were plus 30, and they go to Wrexham on the final day, Middlesbrough. So even if they win that, it's not going to be a landslide victory. Here is Grant then, well, the change. Let's see who this is going to be for. Difficult to read in the sunlight. Nunez on this free kick for Ipswich Town, approaching the final 10 minutes at the Hawthorns. He's on the right-hand side. Ball's going to travel a fair distance. It is Mowat who's coming off. Yeah, he was looking very tired. Well, he's a central midfielder, and Grant either plays as a striker or wide. So I'd imagine Malumbi will go into the middle alongside Diakite. I don't think you want to change too much James Morris in terms of the system. Well, we've waited months for a decent free kick from Nunez. Now would be a good moment to improve his set-piece delivery dramatically. He's not going for goal, he's trying to find a teammate in red on the edge of the box off to our right. The obvious targets are Furlong, O'Shea, Hurst and Kipre all in there. What's Nunez got in that right boot of his? In it comes, deep beyond the far post, headed down by Kipre, maybe a chance for O'Shea, cleared away. That was a good ball in from Nunez, and that did cause West Brom problems.
Yeah, we just didn't have enough, that went inside the 6-yard box. We had O'Shea, but he just got a little bit blinded to it. If somebody had backed him up a little bit, we might have seized upon the dead ball, but they seized upon it and put it away for a corner.
Final 10 minutes at the Hawthorns. We're still 0-0. Nunez with this corner kick for Ipswich Town. Up goes O'Shea. It's still alive in there. Headed away by Phillips, not fully. Hit by Taylor into the ground. Greaves stretches. Actually, it was Hurst who stretched, but no criticism of him. Couldn't react quickly enough, and his touch put it wide. But that wasn't.
Yeah, no criticism there. That was really sort of pacey ball going across, towards the byline. He couldn't really deal with that one at all. It was just ricocheting off of people, and we've definitely had most of the game for possibly the last 15 minutes, certainly. So, this is our moment. This is the moment we could nick the result.
O'Leary with this goal kick for West Brom. He's got another clean sheet in his back pocket at the moment. So too Walton, who's been the busier of the two, made some good saves. Walton. Hurst having a wrestling match with Campbell. Nothing doing in terms of the referee intervening. Phillips plays it forward up towards O'Shea and Hegerberg. Good header by the Ipswich captain, square to Greaves. Greaves spoons it to the halfway line. Nunez with a back header to Styles. Styles looking forward to Hegerberg. The back header from Matthew Sewell was read by Kipre when he could have been in the spot of bother. Malumbi, who is playing in midfield, heads it away from Hurst. It's really messy. It's just up in the air over the halfway line. Eventually Taylor gets it down looking for Philogene. In stamps Imre. Down goes Philogene. Play continues with Greaves. Greaves has done well. Got the ball back to Walton. 8 minutes of this match to go. It's really tense. Kipre up towards Philogene. Philogene rides the challenge of Imre. Then goes square to Furlong. Can Ipswich Town land a blow? Burns to Nunez. Back to Furlong. Now it's with O'Shea. Almost given away by Kipre, but Madja couldn't adapt quickly enough, and Kipre is able to tidy up back to Walton. O'Shea picks out a pass to Taylor. Looks like he's going to play the 90 minutes. Taylor to the left side onto the chest of Greaves. Good play. Greaves in field to Hurst. Hurst with a little layoff back to Greaves. Greaves out to the right hand side. Excellent play from the full-back. Burns just misjudged the bounce. It went up beyond his left hip and out of play, which was a real shame. Greaves was right at the heart of a really good move there.
Jacob Greaves has had a good match. He really has. And
he's really good.
And now that we're going on top of the game, he's sort of just taking up some lovely advanced positions. And he was unlucky with that ball. His pass was okay. Wes Burns just misread the bounce of it.
In terms of consistency, he's been as good as anyone for a few weeks now. Greaves. So too this man, O'Shea, has been playing very well. Styles on his chest, won't go out for a corner. It has in the end. That was a mistake from him again, trying to be a bit too casual.
Yeah, he was.
Once again caught out. Could have dealt with that and given away a throw-in. Instead, it's out for a corner to Town.
They've just lost the plot a little bit, West Bromwich.
This, at the moment, is definitely a chance for Town to capitalise, to get on top and get a winning goal. And not just any winning goal in the context of the remaining games of the season. Nunez on this corner kick. Puffs at his chest. Right-footed delivery from the Chilean. Low, volleyed away by Imre. Out as far as Philogene. He miscontrols it. That allows vital seconds for Madja to close him down. Matthew Seward in the centre of the Hawthorns. Ball out to the far side, and Kipre almost operating as a left winger from that set piece. Has he won a corner kick? Looked like it came off the West Brom player, yes. The referee's eyesight matches mine. It's a 5th corner kick in the second half for Ipswich Town. And
O'Shea's just had a little word with Nunez, so keep your eyes on O'Shea.
Nunez placing the ball down over in the far right corner of the Hawthorns. 5 minutes of normal time to go. It's 0-0. He's got this corner kick, the Chilean. In it bends. It looks a good one. Punched away by O'Leary as far as Taylor, who sets it up for Philogene. He gets underneath it. And that ball's high into the crowd off to our right.
Yeah, that's not a nice strike. That's a poor strike. You know, he seems as if he's much better when it's on the ground. He's in control of it and he can just sort of pick his spot. You know, when it comes to him a little bit awkwardly, not so good.
It's O'Leary getting ready to take this goal kick for West Brom. Well, they've got the point that guarantees 100% that they are staying in this division for another season. It will be their 6th season back at this level after 1 in the Premier League. One stage had 7 seasons in the Premier League in a row from 2010 to 2017. Ball forward for Hurst. Phillips is there, cleared by Styles, not taking any chances on this occasion. West Brom are going to make another change by the looks of things. Burns held up by Styles. He takes the ball out of play. Off Styles for a throw-in to Ipswich Town. And it's going to be Furlong on the halfway line. The board being ready for another change from West Brom. Just have a little look to see who might be coming on. Might be Tama Bani, striker. Campbell casually lifts the ball over the top of Hurst, then with disguise down the line to Grant. Grant goes back to Campbell. Campbell forward, but Taylor challenges successfully for the ball. Burns gets on it, but then goes down. Taylor running forward for Ipswich. In the way is Campbell. Campbell brings it away. Didn't see Taylor making a challenge on him. Town won it back. Matthew Seward up to Hurst. Hurst rolls it to Greaves. Wide on the left is Philogene. Town attacking the box off to our right-hand side. Greaves gets to the dead ball line. His cross is overhit. It goes over the top, and Burns can't keep it in. Through to West Brom.
Yeah, a little bit of a shame that his ball was overhit, but again, a beautiful position that he's taken up, Jacob Greaves.
Of course, if it stays like this, it does mean that Town can be promoted at Southampton on Tuesday night. Here come the change. There's the change for West Brom. They're bringing off Hegerber and fellow countryman Tama Bani, another striker. One Danish striker on, one Danish striker off the remainder of this game. Just came in the latest transfer window, did Bani. Just 6 appearances for West Brom so far, all from the bench. This is 7th. 2.5 minutes of the normal 90 to go. Howie Nerves headed forward by O'Shea, all the way out behind. Another goal kick to O'Leary. And West Brom happy to waste a bit of time. Styles not interested in returning the ball to O'Leary. Made him walk a few yards to pick up a replacement of his own. Yeah, full match commentary of that game at Southampton on Tuesday night. That's on air from 7. And then next Saturday, Town at home to QPR, their final game of the regular season. O'Leary just tapping some mud off his boots off to our right before he takes this goal kick. Greaves in a challenge with Madja, sees it out behind. undoubtedly one of Town's best players this afternoon, Greaves. Also got to credit the goalkeeper for some of his saves. Here he is once again, Greaves. So good atmosphere, as you can hear. Up towards, but over the top of Hurst. Campbell is there to clear it away. It was Phillips wrestling with Hurst on that occasion. Grant forward towards Banny. It's Greaves who makes an important challenge. Out to the right side looking for Burns. Burns back to Matusiwa, who helps it on its way back to O'Shea. As the relate sting in the tail from either of these sides. Walton beyond halfway. Hurst going to try and get in behind. Styles is there first. Doesn't want to use his goalkeeper. Turns and clears over halfway towards Grant. Grant with a little back header. Flags up against West Brom.
Yeah, it's tight. There's not a lot of 1 minute left of normal time. I don't think it's one of those games that's going to get a lot of extra time, but we're definitely in control of the game. That's the important thing.
O'Shea on the halfway line for Ipswich Town. Gives it to Furlong. Furlong up towards Hurst. Phillips has to make the header and does. Out it goes. Hurst applauds the idea from Furlong. Furlong is going to be taking this throw-in. 5 minutes of added on time, which we are a few seconds into. Darnell Furlong underneath us here at the Hawthorns. Town have 4 or 5 players inside the box off to our right. In comes the throw-in from Furlong, headed down by Phillips. Madger passes it out to the right-hand side. Might have asked too much of Price. No, Price gets there to Philogene and plays it up to Banny, who's offside. Poor. Quickly taken free kick by Ipswich Town. Philogene comes in field, pulls the ball back slightly to Furlong in the first minute of the added on 5. Can Town get a dramatic late winner? Back the ball goes to Furlong once again. Now Dara O'Shea. Most of the play in the half off to our right-hand side for quite a while now. Town have been on top, but they haven't so far made that superiority count. Philogene bounces the ball off Matusiwa. Philogene turns the ball around the corner. It's wasted.
Crazy.
Really disappointing for
crazy ball. Too much of a gamble, too much risk. Just take your time. We're in control of the ball, the game. The extra time, we've got a chance to create. Stupid ball.
O'Leary, up and under clearance. Knocked down by the right instep of Kipre. On it is Grant in centre field for West Brom. 90 seconds gone of the added on time live on BBC Radio Suffolk. Greaves doing well yet again on the far side. Excellent stuff from him. Although, he's been penalised. It's a foul, I think, rather than a throw-in. Doesn't look like we're going to see any more subs. There's Dan Neal and Ben Johnson settled down. West Brom take a quick free kick. Imre inside the Ipswich area. Good challenge from Greaves. Both players go down. Philogene gives it away to Malumbi. Malumbi has support behind from Price. Malumbi crouching over the ball, trying to hold on to it in that far left corner. In goes Nunez. West Brom get the ball back, and out of play it goes for a goal kick to Walton. 3 minutes to go.
It's going to be tight.
0-0 to an extent suits both clubs. Keeps West Brom in the Championship and puts Ipswich Town into the position of 1 win from their next 2, and they're back in the Premier League. Could happen Tuesday, could happen next Saturday. It's really on a knife edge. Out it goes near side for a throw-in. Underneath us, Furlong is going to be taking it. There are exactly 2 minutes to go. An awful lot of fans disappearing out of the Hawthorns. O'Shea to Kipre, who's kept his nose clean since that first half yellow card. Kipre moves back to Walton. Walton with a touch, and then left-footed up towards Philogene, trying to get the better of Imre. Imre looks to be in charge. Overhead clearance, chested down by Taylor. Taylor tries to get it to Greaves, and it's away from Price. Greaves missed it. Then he pulls down his man. It's going to be a free kick and a yellow card for Jacob Greaves. It's Banny that he hauled to the floor. It's only his 3rd of the season.
Yeah, I was looking at Kieran just a minute ago when we got a throw in down this side. His actions suggested to me that he'd take a point.
Absolutely, and understandably so. Phillips forward for West Brom, headed infield by Madger. Touchdown by Banny, back to Madger inside the area. O'Shea gets the header back to Walton. Walton plucks it out of the sky. And in a tangle with Madger, Walton goes to the deck. We're into the final 45 seconds of this game. Ipswich with 3. Making a run is Nunez. Up it goes towards Nunez. Nunez in a challenge with Campbell. Big up and under clearance from Styles to halfway. Out far side on the first bounce.
I think both teams will take a point now.
Yeah, they would. We're into the final 20 seconds of this game. Ipswich Town's penultimate away game of the regular season. And at the moment, it's no goals, a point apiece. Suits both of these teams to an extent. O'Shea knocks it long towards Hurst. Is there a sting in the tail? Doesn't quite get through to Philogene. Cleared by West Brom. Matthew Siwa with a flick to Greaves. There goes the full-time whistle. Celebration certainly from the home fans. This point after a 0-0 draw means that West Brom are 100% guaranteed to be playing in the Championship next season. As far as Ipswich Town are concerned, they need 3 more points for automatic promotion back to the Premier League. It could come as early as Tuesday night at Southampton. If not, next Saturday at home to QPR. It is still in Ipswich Town's hands.
Yeah, and you can sense that actually all round the stadium, as well as West Brom played for an hour, they're happy with a point because they know what that point does for them. That gives them Championship football guaranteed next year. So they're delighted. You sensed for the last 5 or 6 minutes they would have done a deal. And Town are also delighted because they sense that this point could well help to head them towards the Premiership. They have only got to beat either Southampton or Queen's Park Rangers at home. And I think they would have done a deal 7 or 8 minutes from time as well. So the story of the game, West Brom, really good side first half. Very exciting to watch, played some great stuff, were very threatening up front. They opened the second half, I thought, equally as well. I thought they were going to continue right the way through the second half. But then all of a sudden, you got to a point of the game where there was a lull. There was a deadness to the game, and you did sense then that was going to go in favour of Town because it was starting to make West Brom go a little bit negative. They were losing a little bit of their athleticism, which suggested that they were tired. So it was sort of tailor-made for us to actually take control of the ball, and we know that if we can control the ball, we control the play, and we win the majority of the games. You know, we didn't carry it through to win the game, but you did feel that from perhaps 60 minutes to perhaps 85, that if there was going to be a winner, it could well have been us, you know. So job's done. The back four have held firm right the way through. They have done their job absolutely impeccably. They were up against a tough attacking team. They held firm. The first half was really tough for them. They didn't concede. They got control. They didn't concede in the first 15 of the second half. And then they got their reward where the game became a little bit more easy. In the forward areas, it got a bit more easy for Matasiwa and Taylor, by the way, as well. So that Sixham sort of got a bit of a breather. Then it was down to, we've used 8 attacking players today. You know, the first 4 didn't really see much of the ball. The second 4 saw more of the ball than the first 4. You've got to say that maybe the second 4 were more threatening, perhaps looked a better combination, but basically when the odd chance came our way, and I think you've got to say one in both halves of the game, first one to Athon, he's got to hit the back of the net. Second one to Jack Clark, he's got to hit the back of the net. So whatever they've done in between, which really basically hasn't been enough, we've failed to score from two excellent chances. And when you're having to defend for long periods, you've got to put those away because they are your best chances of winning the game. So, job done. You know, that's the story of the game, but the basic thing is the job is done. We've got the point that if we can get the 3 points to go with it, we're back in the Premier League, and I think we had that in mind today.
You must be confident that's going to happen now that they are going to manage to get 3 points from these next two.
Oh, I am. You know, I would not. You could give me really attractive odds, Brenner, on us not doing it. I wouldn't take it. But if you did say 100 to 1,
just a suggestion from the car on the way back.
Here's a fiver.
Yeah, Town is certainly in a terrific position, Graham, after getting a point here, hard-fought one against a good side, clean sheet as well. As Mick said, there's some excellent performances at the back. They are a step closer to an immediate return to the Premier League. It's finished 0-0 at the Hawthorns.
He doesn't miss a trick, Mick Mills, does he? Watch your wallet on the way back, okay?
He doesn't.